It all unfolded on a warm, gleaming afternoon when everything appeared gentle, quiet, and safe, almost as if the world had decided to rest for a while. Sunlight filtered through tall trees, soft and golden, and for a brief moment it felt like nothing bad could possibly exist. Yet behind the calm appearance of a peaceful day, something unseen was stirring inside the walls of a school. And when Elias Mercer, a humble, soft-spoken single father who rarely raised his voice, stepped onto school grounds that day, he believed he was simply dropping off the lunch his daughter had forgotten. He had no idea his heart was moments away from shattering in a way he would carry forever. Before we continue, dear viewers, if you believe the world still needs compassion, empathy, and second chances, please like this video, leave a supportive comment, share it with others, and subscribe to World of Kindness. And tell us in the comments where are you watching from today. Elias had always been devoted to his 12-year-old daughter, Lena. After losing his wife unexpectedly 2 years earlier, life transformed into quiet evenings and careful routines. Every morning, Elias braided Lena's hair the way her mother used to, packed her lunch with little notes reminding her she was loved, and whispered that she was safe and never alone. He worked 2 jobs, often coming home exhausted, but he never allowed tiredness to dim the warmth he tried his best to give her. So when she left that morning looking thoughtful and rushed and accidentally forgot her lunch, he didn't think much of it. Children are forgetful sometimes. He picked up the lunchbox on his break and drove straight to school. But the moment he walked through the hallway, an uneasy heaviness crept over him, tightening something deep in his chest. As he approached Lena's classroom, he heard a quiver in her voice, one he had never heard before. Inside, Lena stood near her desk, shoulders pulled inward, clutching her hands nervously. Her classmates watched in uncomfortable silence, and towering above her stood a teacher, Mrs. Hallberg, her expression sharp with irritation, her voice cutting like cold metal. Elias paused at the doorway, frozen, trying to understand. Lena wasn't a troublemaker. She was gentle, polite, overly apologetic even for things she didn't do. Yet there she stood, shrinking beneath the weight of an adult's anger. Sunlight fell harshly across her trembling shoulders, turning her fear into something painfully visible. Mrs. Hallberg lifted a hand, not to strike but with a forcefulness that made every student flinch. She reprimanded Lena about something Elias couldn't yet understand, maybe a missing assignment, a misunderstanding, or simply the teacher's own frustration boiling over. But it wasn't her words that hurt him most. It was seeing how small Lena suddenly looked, how her eyes flickered with a silent plea she didn't dare to speak. His heart trembled not with rage, but with the unbearable ache only a parent knows. Elias stepped inside, slowly, carefully, almost afraid of what might come out of him if he moved too fast. The room went still. Lena looked at him, eyes full of held-back tears. Mrs. Hallberg straightened with surprise, but Elias barely looked at her. He went straight to Lena, kneeling down, making himself small enough for her to meet his eyes. In that moment he could read everything written across her face, the exhaustion of trying to be brave, the fear of disappointing him, the humiliation of being targeted in front of classmates. He placed his hand gently on her shoulder, silent, steady, grounding her back into safety. All around them, children watched, unsure if they were witnessing something ordinary or something deeply important. Inside, Elias's thoughts spun painfully. How long had this been going on? Had he ignored subtle signs? Lately Lena had been quieter, more withdrawn, staying in her room, hesitating when he asked simple questions about school. He had brushed it aside, assuming she just needed time. But now, seeing her trembling, he wished he had listened more closely, noticed sooner, spoken more gently. Guilt coiled around him like heavy chains. Mrs. Hallberg tried defending herself with clipped explanations, insisting her actions were correct and Lena's behavior deserved discipline. But Elias sensed something else: impatience, lack of empathy, a hardness that didn't belong near children's fragile emotions. Her words blurred into background noise as Lena's shallow breaths became the only thing he heard. Elias rose slowly. He didn't yell. He didn't lose control. But every word carried strength. He said that no child should feel afraid inside a classroom, not humiliated, not singled out, not emotionally cornered, especially not by the person meant to guide them. Students watched wide-eyed, seeing a father protecting his child with dignity and unwavering love. Moments later, the principal arrived. Elias calmly explained what he had witnessed, not exaggerated or dramatic. Just raw truth, spoken from a wounded father's heart. Lena stood next to him, holding her lunchbox like a shield. The principal's expression shifted concern, replacing doubt. Conversations were started, steps were taken, and for the first time, Elias saw relief flicker in Lena's eyes. When they stepped outside into sunlight, Lena leaned into her father with a trembling breath. Elias didn't question her. He didn't ask for every detail. He simply wrapped her in his arms and held her, silently wishing he could absorb every fear she'd ever felt. And there, in that quiet moment beneath the afternoon sky, Elias promised himself he would always show up, always listen, always notice, even when she said nothing at all. If this story touched your heart, please remember to like this video, leave a meaningful comment, and subscribe to World of Kindness so we can continue creating stories that inspire healing and compassion. And before you go, tell us in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Elias' place?